our mind always want to do something, always want to achieve something, always want to grab something. Um, and from my experience, and my mind is becoming more and more, I would say, calmer now. Uh, I'm not used to be as agitated as I used to be, and I thank God for that. It's because I practice this awareness exercise, and this awareness exercise is it's very simple. It's basically um, remember what I said about the dropping all of the attachment, and unless you drop your attachment you cannot find peace, because those attachments that's making us busy, making us always uh, restless, making us always not satisfied of who we are. We think we always have to achieve something. Our mind is always, after we complete something, what is the next thing? We complete that next thing, what is the next thing? It's always like that. So until we drop all of these desires with regards to attachment, then we cannot have tranquility, inner peace. So how I managed to drop some of my attachment, I still have an attachment, is to remember when I said that attachment is a desire. When it's unfulfilled, then you feel unhappy. In other words, you're feeling negative, all of those negative emotions: shy, empathy, fear, nervousness, despair, sadness, pride, uh, I don't know, all negative emotions you can think of. So every time I experience negative emotions, I would sit down. I would try to sit down, although sometimes it's not successful. And I know that's a signal of an attachment, because behind that negative emotion there's always an attachment, there's always an expectations, there's always a desire that I couldn't get, and that's why I feel that negative emotions. So God already give us this signal, these emotions, the negative one especially, although some of the positive one also is not supposed to be there. But now, for the time being, we just limit ourselves, talk about these negative emotions, that every time I feel that, then I know that behind that there's an attachment. So I'm just trying to be aware, or what is the attachment behind that. And once I can identify that, I try to also be aware of the feelings inside me, and sort of try to disidentify yourself with that feelings, and sort of like just watch that feeling. Feeling comes and go, just like thoughts comes in and go. And this is if you heard Thomas Keating, centering prayer. I'm from Catholic tradition. I also try to practice centering prayer. It's basically trying to let go the mind. In the Indian culture, the yoga is also basically saying the same thing, trying to let go of the mind, to not judge, to not evaluate. So this is like also basically like watching the mind. You just let it go. Instead of watching the mind, you just watch your feelings, and just let it go. You don't repress the feelings. Now that's very important. If you have negative feelings, first you want to do is you accept that the negative feeling is there, sense it, sense the anger, sense the despair, sense the sadness, and just try to watch it like an observer, like you're watching a movie. And you just watch it. Maybe after 60 seconds it's going to go away, or after 90 seconds it's going to go away. It's just as simple as that. It comes in and go. It's just like a boat on the river. It's just gonna pass by. Don't try to do anything. Just watch it. Just like watching a movie. Just like watching. You're watching a dog playing. Just like when watching kids playing. You do not judge. You do not tell them to go away. You do not tell them to, hey, come over here. You just watch. Watch. Be an observer. Passive observer. Just observe. And this is the last thing we cannot do. Because of the psychic what's inside us. Sometimes we jump and then we judge ourselves. Hey, and then we say to ourselves, hey, here comes the negative emotions again. And then you feel guilty. Once you feel guilty, it's like you're judging that negative emotions. Or once you probably say, hey, that's negative emotion, I don't like that, I'm gonna do something else, immediately you want to do that. I think there's a danger that, because in a way you're probably you're repressing it, and repressing is also the last thing that you don't want to do. So just watch it until it disappears and try to identify where is it coming from in terms of attachment. So for example, if I have negative emotions, I'm angry with somebody, and I sit down, and if I'm successful, sometimes I wasn't successful and just burst out in my anger, but so I sit down and think, okay, I'm angry because he looked me in the eye, or he said something that I do not like, or he insults me, and then, okay, so my desire for that person, or my attachment, I'm just rephrasing it, is I'm unhappy because that person is insulting me. I have that negative emotions, and then I can say to myself, but hey, that's not true, because there are some people, even though that people get insulted, he's not angry. He's still peaceful. So why do I have to be angry? At first you find this very strange, weird, but over time you sort of like get into it and get used to it, and then you know how to deal with all of this, and then you really think, yeah, it is weird, I don't have to get angry, I can still be calm. Whatever they say to me, whatever they do to me, I don't have to react negatively. I don't have to feel this anger. It means that we are sick. We are all sick people. The tragedy is we don't want to admit it. So that's the one I found it really useful. So every time you have a negative emotions, try to just calm down and be aware of that emotions is within you, number one. And secondly, try to identify where is that negative emotions coming from an attachment, but you try to identify it more specifically, and try to think that other people would react differently. So it's only you, you're reacting, you're programming. There's something wrong with me, there's something wrong with you. That's why you react negatively. And if you can, just watch, be an observer. Remember, do not judge, do not evaluate. Feelings come in and go, just like a boat floating in the water. Do not try to paddle the boat, do not try to rush the boat, and do not try to, hey, no, boat, you are not allowed to go here. Just watch it, it will go away. And you repeat this thing over and over again. And from my experience, one day you will drop your attachment, your illusions, your false belief that I have to be happy if I achieved it. If I don't achieve this, if I don't get this, I'll be unhappy. And then that will go away from your mind, from your left hemisphere. And then as a result of that, you become more in the present moment. You become be aware. The movement of your hand, movement of your body, of your breathing. You become aware of the present moment.